Jefferson emphasized that mastering three elements is key to effective communication, saying it with control, confidence, and a desire to connect. He noted that understanding that everyone wants to be heard and understood is crucial in communication, and that the person you see is not always the person you're talking to. Jefferson shared a powerful question to ask in difficult conversations. Sounds like you have a reason for saying that. This question can help to diffuse tension and encourage the other person to open up. He also emphasized the importance of patience and self-control in difficult conversations, and suggested framing the conversation by stating what you want to talk about, how you want to feel after the conversation, and getting the other person's buy-in. Jefferson noted that being generous with your ears and listening more than you talk is a valuable skill, and one that can be very attractive to others. He also suggested that asking if the other person is willing to have a conversation rather than an argument can help to slow down the conversation and create a more balanced dynamic. Jefferson shared a story about using the phrase, "I need a miracle to get a spoon from a Starbucks barista," and how it worked because the barista wanted to be a hero and help him out.
Lewis Howes noted that people love to give more than you expect, and that using phrases like "what's the chance?" or "I need a miracle" can be a powerful way to get what you want.
Jefferson emphasized the importance of apologizing effectively, and suggested using a formula that includes apologizing, acknowledging the other person's feelings, and taking steps to prevent similar situations in the future. He also noted that adding the word "but" to an apology can eliminate its effectiveness, and suggested using a workaround like "I'm sorry, and I also want to talk about" to acknowledge the other person's feelings while also bringing up other issues. Jefferson advised that if someone is always playing the victim and making others apologize for things they didn't do, it's essential to distance oneself from that person. He described these individuals as emotional sand traps, who can be draining to be around. Jefferson explained that when dealing with someone who is always trying to get an apology, it's crucial to recognize that they might be using manipulation tactics. He advised that if someone is always the victim and never takes responsibility, it's time to create distance and set boundaries. However, if you've genuinely done something wrong, it's essential to own up to it and apologize.
Lewis Howes asked Jefferson to share a personal experience where he fell short in using his own advice, and Jefferson admitted that he sometimes forgets to take a breath before responding, which can lead to defensiveness.
Jefferson shared that in his experience as a lawyer, he's seen how defensiveness can weaken one's position. He advised that instead of getting defensive, it's better to advocate for one's position and focus on the facts.
Lewis Howes noted that when someone takes things personally, they're picking up what nobody asked them to carry, and that it's essential to let go of those burdens. Lewis Howes shared a personal story about how he held onto a hurtful experience from his childhood for 20 years, and how he was triggered by the memory and would react defensively in conversations. However, when he finally let go of that hurt, he was able to change his life and approach conversations from a more positive perspective.
Jefferson Fisher noted that it's essential to heal the stories and traumas from our past that cause us to be reactive in uncomfortable conversations. He advised that when we hold on to these experiences, we're carrying around emotional baggage that can be triggered by others. Jefferson shared a skill he teaches, which is to start sentences with "I can tell" to acknowledge when we're getting defensive or sensitive. This helps to claim control of our emotions and communicate more effectively with others.
Lewis Howes asked, "What happens if someone uses this strategy against us?" And Jefferson advised that it's essential to be aware of this possibility and set boundaries accordingly. He emphasized that when we claim our emotions, we control them, and that this can help to de-escalate conflicts and improve communication.
Jefferson also shared his own struggles with communication, admitting that he sometimes falls into the trap of trying to control outcomes. However, he emphasized the importance of patience and not getting defensive in difficult conversations. When it comes to responding to tears in an argument, Jefferson advised against apologizing or acting exasperated. Instead, he suggested labeling the tears and acknowledging the emotions behind them. He emphasized the importance of being genuine and not putting the burden on the grieving person to ask for help. Instead of offering vague support, it's better to take action and show you care in a tangible way. Jefferson Fisher agreed that it's essential to be mindful of your words and actions when interacting with someone who is grieving.
Lewis Howes also pointed out that when someone is grieving, they often don't want to ask for help because it can feel overwhelming and disempowering.
Jefferson Fisher added that grief isn't linear and people experience it in different ways and depths. To support someone who is grieving, it's essential to agree with their pain and acknowledge their feelings, rather than trying to minimize or lessen their emotions. Jefferson Fisher also discussed his book, Argue Less, Talk More, which offers practical advice on how to communicate effectively and resolve conflicts.
Lewis Howes encouraged listeners to get a copy of the book and to follow Jefferson Fisher on social media for more valuable content. The conversation was insightful and provided valuable tips on how to support others during difficult times. Lewis Howes also shared some exciting news about his new book, Make Money Easy, which is all about creating financial freedom and abundance. He encouraged listeners to check it out and to subscribe to his channel for more valuable content. Thank you for tuning in. Please click follow button and just remember, subscription is only £1 or $1 per month. Leave a comment or review. Until next time, happy listening. To access the complete 12-minute summary and unlock detailed insights for each topic discussed in the video, please subscribe to quick podcast summaries on Spotify and Apple Podcasts with free trial, and later, just for the price of candy in most places. Happy listening.